Okay, I think I've got the figured out. Let's see. I was having trouble with the audio that it was echoing really bad. So I got a headphone that um, was working or wasn't working. Now this one I thought it was, but it looks like it's hooked to the wrong device. Let me try hooking it to the correct device. Oh, sorry about all this. Okay. Is it working now? Let's try. Okay, so you all can hear me. That's good news. That's not what I want to do. Okay. I think I've got it fixed. Video's good. I think the echo part is wrong, is gone. And I think you all can hear me. And if anybody comes up, I should be able to hear them now. I thought I'd be farther along on my trip than I am right now, but I had to stop and get gas and came upon a wreck. So hopefully that's the only one of those I see. But I'm headed to the ALA and AKA convention in Michigan. And so it looks like we've got Monster Fish Gal, Peplin Creek, Jeff Kane, Freaky Fish Lady, and scrolling back to see if anybody else was here. That's all it's showing me right now. So welcome everybody. The trip up is going to be an adventure for me because I don't normally stream. So I don't know what I'm doing. And I've got a GPS talking in my ear, so it distracts me some. I'm hoping it's a fun trip. It was a good trip last year, but last year it was the Triple Crown, cichlids and live bears and killifish and rainbows all at the same place. This year it's the live bears and killifish, and it's the same weekend as one of the Aquashellas. So a lot of people went to Aquashella, and some are going here. So there's not going to be as much not as many fish tuber people at one place. We're going to be spread here and there. And I guess I could have waited till tomorrow to go up, but for me, it's like a 7-hour drive in good traffic. And there's stuff tomorrow happening around like noon or 1 that I wanted to go to. So I didn't want to get up crazy early. I do that for work. I get up at 3 a.m. for work, and I hate it. Jeff Kane, I thought I had seen better, if I can speak, Beta Aquatics here earlier, but it didn't show. So it must have cut it off whenever the stream started or something. So anybody's welcome to come up. I don't know. Let's see if I can figure out how to pin that. All right, so I may have pinned that to the top. I don't know. I can't tell from StreamYard. If it's there, anybody's welcome to come up. I see Mark Strolson joined us. Welcome. And I don't know if anybody saw, I think I commented in one of the live streams somewhere else that my 300-gallon pond had drained itself. Came home from work and it was dry. The fish were in the bottom of it, and they were still alive. So I dipped them into another container. Good morning, Debs and Cole. But so I didn't know if it was leaking through the liner or a hose or what was going on there. So I took and turned the pump off and filled the liner back up. It held water for a couple of days. And I posted that this had happened in my local fish group. And somebody mentioned that they had it happen before and their filter box had clogged up and overflowed. So that got me thinking. I'd added filter floss not long ago, and that was the only thing I could think of I changed. So I checked the filter box, and it looked like one big mud ball in there. That filter floss had done its job too good. So I took that out, turned the pump and everything back on, and it's been running fine. So I think that was the problem. I didn't put any fish back into it. I'm going to wait until after I get back, just in case that wasn't the problem. I don't want to come back to dry fish. Let's see. I thought I saw somebody say hi to Foxy. I don't know if she's on Peplin's channel or if she came in on her own. Either way, welcome. Congrats on hitting your 1K recently. I've got maybe about 40 left to go to hit mine. So I'm thinking, 5-6 more months. I'm not that worried about it, but it's getting a little exciting where I'm this close. I've had this channel for 10 years and it's dribbled along. Getting 25 subscribers some years, 100 some years. Just goes kind of slow, which I'm not worried about. My watch time is nowhere near where it needs to be for monetization, so that wouldn't be a drive to get me there. I've been monetized on other channels before, and I didn't make much off of it. So if I get it, whenever I get it, that's great. Any money I make from it will go back into the channel, of course. And if I can figure out how to do this streaming thing, I might start streaming more regularly, and that'll help the watch hours. I've been around a minute or two. Seen channels now. Okay, I'm going to have spotty signal, so it may drop off for a minute or two, but I'll be back whenever it's the hill or whatever. Maybe I'm back. A cell phone signal doesn't like these hills. I'm currently in northern Kentucky. Good morning. All right, so if I am still rolling, I was saying that I've seen channels show up, brand new start. I've seen channels pass me by and hit 1,000. I've seen them get to 1,000 and then never make another video. When I started this channel, live streaming wasn't a thing. I think it was just starting and nobody was doing it. And now it seems like that's all that people do. You jump from one live stream to another live stream to another live stream, and very few people make videos. But now we've got options for videos and shorts and live streams and community tab posts. A whole lot more that you can do on YouTube now. Used to, we would like do a video, and then people would make a video as a reply, and you could post that in people's comments. That was always fun. You chain videos along through people's comments. But YouTube got rid of that. And then YouTube had a messenger at one point. And then that went away. But I'm bad at procrastinating. Saying, I'll edit that video tomorrow. I'll record this this weekend, and that's been a lot of my problem. My work schedule just crazy, and not having internet at the house because I'm a cheapskate um, has convinced me in my mind that I don't have the ability to stream. But I thought I'd try this out. If I can stream from my phone or off the cell phone signal, then I can try that at the house also. And I get frustrated procrastinating sometimes that, like right now, I've got a video that I've recorded of touring the fish shack, showing you what fish I've got, stuff like that. And this was made before I went to the ALA, of course, and before I put any fish out in the tubs and the ponds and stuff. So when it actually comes out, it won't be what the fish that's in the fish room. I'll have fish from the ALA probably. If I leave a pier and don't buy something, it will be, I don't know if I want to say it's a miracle, but it'll be something. And then I've taken fish out of there and put in tubs. So in my mind, I'm like, should I even put that video up? Because it's not what's in there now. But I think I'm going to, because part of the reason I do the YouTube thing is for me to keep track of what I had when I did something. I can look back and see 2 years ago I got this fish and I was keeping it at 20 long and all this kind of stuff. So I'll probably edit it, put it on out. But yeah, consistency is part of my problem. And I do need to try more shorts. When I see something cool, I forget to video. And then when I'm thinking of videoing the stuff I see, I'm like, that's not cool. But I got to think that some of the fish that I see in my tanks every day might just be the everyday stuff to me, but to somebody else, they may have not seen a tiger teddy or be really interested in it. They might want to see the catfish having a feeding frenzy. Depends on how serious I want the channel to be. Excuse me. Serious is in successful, or serious is in not funny. My sense of humor is not very good, so me being funny is going to be difficult. Good morning, Kenny. Birthday boy. Whose birthday? Is it Kenny's birthday? All right, let's turn the beeping off. That means I'm running off the road. I don't want to be reminded that I'm swerving. Last car I totaled with YouTube. All right. I'm back. I think I dropped for a minute. All right. All right. Instruction or signal. I'm doing. All right, hang with me. This northern Kentucky area here is spotty for signal for some reason. It says I've got 8 in the uh, stream chat, whatever it's called. $55? No way. I was thinking 35. Anybody here doing anything as far as going to Aquashella or going up to this convention or anything cool this weekend for fish? Any fish events? Hey, senior discount, that's a perk, definitely. I'm definitely looking forward to when I get to 55. And the main reason for that is hopefully at that point I'll be eligible to retire from my job. The Fendick sounds awesome. I wish it was closer. I'd want to check that out too. I hope they are very successful at it. I say this is my first road trip fish event of the year. I've been to the club events in Nashville, Knoxville, Lexington, Louisville, Indianapolis, Columbus, and Cincinnati. But I can do all those in a 4-hour trip. And to me, a road trip is something over 4 hours. Just because in a 4-hour trip, if the event's 4 hours away, I can get up early in the morning, drive there, hit the event, and then drive back. But Kalamazoo is about 7 hours away. So it definitely requires an overnight stay. Craig's Catfish Cave, good morning. And I think this will be my first time going to Michigan. I always thought it was like 15 hours away or something. Now, see, I could drive to an event 8 or 9 hours away. That would be that'd be doable. Yeah, I've got this, the ALA, aka I keep referring to it as the ALA convention because I'm just not into killifish. So I've got the ALA convention this weekend, and then on the Saturday at the Fendick is going on. My local club, the Lexington Club, is joining up with the Knoxville Club, and we're doing a cookout, native collecting in Southern Kentucky. So we'll be spending the day doing that. As far as other trip type events, got this one, and then I've got I think the next one's the Keystone Clash. That's in September in Pennsylvania. And then I've got the OCA Extravaganza, and that's late November. Of course, I'll be doing fish club stuff and swaps and stuff. I would have liked to have made it to what are they calling it? The Combo Plate, the Catfish Catalysm, and ACA convention. But July is a difficult time for me that everybody at work's asking off, and they'll let so many of us off, and I'm not the most senior to always get it, and I can negotiate sometimes and get it off. But I knew the Triple Crown was coming for about 2 or 3 years, so I had done a lot of favor requesting and string pulling and stuff to get that year off. So this year, I've definitely got to work during that time. But we'll see what the plan is for next year, where the ACA is, when it is, and the potential for me to be able to get off work. Reading chat. So if I get someone just kind of staring off into nowhere, I'm either avoiding a cop, trying not to wreck, or reading chat. Double check and sub. I'll thank you for that. It seems like the subs come in spurts, and I don't know if it's because people mention me out or I actually make a good video for once or what. I'm going to try to make more videos and shorts and stuff up here at the ALA if I don't get too distracted by all the cool stuff going on and forget to video. And maybe actually putting out more content will help with that too. I remember the first event that I went to, or I'll say it's the first event, Aquaticon. So I'm there on the list or whatever as a YouTuber, and I'm in the event hall, walking around and stuff, talking to people, and in comes Science Gal Carrie, and she's got her camera video, and then Mike from Fish Tank Bar comes in, he's videoing, and different ones are coming in, and they're all videoing, and here I am on the list as a YouTuber. I don't even have my camera out and video or anything. Like, some great YouTuber I am. I've been doing this 10 years. Probably in 10 or 20 more years, I'll figure out what I'm doing. I listen to streams a lot when I drive. So my thought was, I got a long drive. I'll throw a stream on and listen to it. And looked at the calendar, and there's nothing scheduled for like all of the midday today. It's like, nobody's streaming. I'll see if I figure out how to do it. Because even if I don't talk about anything interesting, it gives y'all a place to chat. And I know a lot of days, you know, if I'm bored and just wanting to talk fish, a stream chat's a good place for that. I know they got Discord, Fishboard, whatever they call it. I can't figure that thing out. I get too lost and don't know what people's talking about. All right, so people asked me before, what fish am I looking for at this convention? And they've asked me what my bucket list fish are. Going into the Triple Crown, I had 2 fish that was on my bucket list. The Zophophorus calmani swordtails, or brass swordtails, whatever you call them. I'd had to go and loved them and lost my colony. To make a long story short. Well, I picked those up last year at the Triple Crown. So if I find any of those that are cheap enough, I might. Also, I'm horrible at scientific names, but Amatelonia nanaludia. I think one of the common names is the golden convict or golden dwarf cichlid. I'd been looking for those for like 4 years, and I picked some of those up at the Triple Crown. Of course, in the 4 years I looked for it, I couldn't find them anywhere within like a 10-hour drive. The people that had them didn't ship, and the people that shipped didn't have them. And of course, after I get some, I've been to swaps and seen them, and found people a couple hours away that had them. But I've got a tank full of them now, so I don't need any more of those. Thank you, Craig. So stuff I would be looking for. What's it called? The black chin live bear. I think the species name is Ataculatus or something like that. If me be behind, yeah, I'm probably pretty far behind. But the black chin live bear, I picked some of those up, or a pair of those up, last year to swap, and lost the male, I think it was, like within that week. So I've got the female still. So I'm trying to figure out what's reflecting in my window over here. It's flashing blue lights in my window. And I'm like, oh, great. Flashing blue lights is the last thing I know I want. But I think it's like a reflection off of a cooler going through my drink cup. Okay. So the black chin live bear, down to a female of those. So I'd like to get more of those. Lemmy and melanogaster. I had that tank crash, lost my whole colony except for a male. So I'll be looking for more of those. If I see the 4-spot Merry Widows, I think they're Phallic ichthyes, water potatus. If I see any more of those, I pick those up. I have 5 of those. And Genius Me took the adults that were like in the middle range age and took them to the auction. And my older adults were aged out, I guess. And so now I just have the younger fry. So if I get more, that'd be nice. And my pygmy swordtails, I'd like to get some more of those. The Xiphophorus pygmaeus. I'm kind of on a Xiphophorus kick right now. The swordtails and platies. I picked up some Xiphophorus milleri from Rusty Westwood a few months back. So I've got 2 of those, and I don't know if they've bred yet. So if I see more of those, I might grab those. And then plants and shrimp and random impulse buys are always on the table. And again, thank you all for joining me on my little journey. I am getting close to Ohio. Get to share the drive with Fish Fan. Get to talk fish as I go. And learn how to stream. Trying to read a little chat. I was wondering what all the laughy faces were about. I'm guessing that's a C-rack. Oh boy. I know there have been cracks on YouTube before. Looks like the Grand Canyon. Maybe it was a crack. So as far as my fish shed or fish shack or whatever we want to call it, it's kind of funny that I thought I would have it done last year. You got burned with hot water? Oh no, I'm sorry. It wasn't hot water from your tank, was it? Hopefully the tank water wasn't that hot enough to burn you. Speaking of hot water, boiling water. Uh, Speaking of hot water, my stupid multi-shell dwellers buried their heater, and it being buried by the sand caused it to overheat and bust. So now they're without a heater, which they're on a third tier rack. Um, and the fish room stays 70 set. During the summertime now, it's not summertime, but it's the warmer months. In the summertime around now, from now until late fall, the fish shack will stay 77 to low 80s. So they don't really need a heater. Scrolling through comments. Yeah, talking back's never good. um, but yeah, I thought I'd have the fish shack done early last year. I should have known better. But I've got two of my quote unquote permanent racks in. Now that I've swapped out some tanks, I'm ready to build uh, another rack up by the sink. Trying to figure out how to describe it. But I can build that rack now, and it'll probably hold 20s and 10s, maybe some 5s, and then move on, building the racks in sections. My auto water change got put on hold when my water heater decided to flake out and pour water on the floor and not heat water. So I've got to order a new water heater and put that in. And I think I'm going to do a gas water heater this time. But during the winter months, whenever I couldn't get heated water to the building, I just stopped working on the auto water change altogether. And I'm going back and forth about whether to drill the tanks or just have overflows, the PVC style. Okay, so is it the burnt foot that's cracking? I thought the crack and the burnt foot was two different issues. That doesn't sound good at all. I hate injuries. Of course, I think most people do. Must be getting close to Cincinnati. Looks like planes are trying to land on top of me. That sounds about right. Put medicine on it and it got worse. And for me, it seems foot injuries are extra bad because it's not like you can go without using your feet. You got to walk to get places. Yeah, I can see an update coming later. Well, Foxy said put glass in it, and I did it. Okay, so another interesting story to me. Might not be interesting to anyone else, but I feel weird if I'm not talking. Pulled out a 5-gallon bucket yesterday to use it. Apparently, I haven't used it in a while. Pulled it out, and it was one of the blue. It's blue Lowe's. Wherever the bucket's from is blue. And in the bottom of it was a spider, probably a quarter the size of the bucket. Is there still audio? Okay. Yeah. It looked like I lost audio for a second. But yeah, I pulled that bucket out, and in the bottom of the bucket was a spider that was like quarter the size of the bottom of the bucket. I don't do spiders. Even when I had the pet store, I didn't do spiders. We had spiders in the pet store, but I didn't mess with them. I just slid the bucket back under the rack that it was at, said, okay, that's your home. As much as I drive places, you would think that I would be able to deal with traffic. I hate traffic. You get all these dummies that are on their phone while they're driving, doing live streams and stuff. Where's my GPS? All right, looks like I'm on the right road. Aha. Ah, brake lights. Yes, I left the spotter just to, let's say, take care of bugs. I didn't want to mess with things. It can eat whatever comes through. You can live its happy life. And just leave me alone. I know Rico keeps spiders in his fish room. So if I say this one again, we'll like name it or something. I'm okay if I don't see it though. Last weekend I went to a local fish store, and this fish store, so they opened a second location, but then they closed the first one. So I guess that was kind of a move. So they moved like an hour away. But anyways, I went to their new location, and they're just looking at fish, whatever. And this girl comes up, and she's got a spider like in the palm of her hand, just like holding the spider, walking around. She walks up to the owner of the pet store and says and asks about buying it, and he said, "I can't say that." She goes, "Really? What type is it?" He goes, "That's a jumping spider. I don't have or sell jumping spider. That's not one of mine." She said, "Well, I got it over here off that shelf." She goes, "Well, if you're not going to sell it and it's not yours, can I just have it?" And the owner said, "Yeah, that's fine." She was so excited to have a native wild spider that she caught inside the pet store, and she's going to make a pet out of it. Oh, you're welcome, Foxy. You deserve well over 1,000. And I understand still waking up. I'm in that process myself. I did not want to get up this morning. I never want to get up. I'm more of a nighttime person and working mornings. I say working mornings. But getting up early for work is not a good thing for me. I leave for work at 3 a.m. and a lot of times I'll get home around 7 p.m. So that doesn't leave much time for other stuff. And I hate getting up at 3 a.m. Getting up at 3 a.m. means I have to miss a lot of the good streams that are on of the evening, and working and not getting home till 7 means I miss a lot of the good streams that are on during the day. But I try to turn the streams on that I've missed of the night and watch those. Not watch, but listen to those. I take and turn them on and set them aside as I drive to work in the mornings. And I'll find myself trying to, or internally wanting to, comment on what's being said like you would in a live chat, but it's not live. And great. The interstate's coming to a standstill. Getting close to the Ohio River. Well, I guess it was last year they put a Buc-ee's in, 20 miles from my house or so. Drive past it at least twice a day. I finally stopped and got gas there. Still haven't been inside the place. But I got that little app on your phone that tells you where the best gas prices are or whatever. And everybody else was like $3.40, and Buc-ee's had it for like $2.89. I said, well, for this trip, let's get the cheaper gas. Had to try to make sure my car was in good working order before I went. 4 new tires, oil change, topped off the fluids. I said I wasn't a killifish guy earlier. I've been thinking about trying to get some. It's the idea in my head of everybody saying, "Oh, you got to breed them before they die." They die really quickly if they don't live very long. Well, the more I think about it, I get other fish that don't live long. Some of the like little tetras and stuff, they'll live a couple years. I don't overthink that. Keep left at a fork. GPS is talking to my ear. Big bridge. And we're in Cincinnati traffic. Just across the river. semi on my right decides he's going to need to be in my lane. I don't like cold weather. I don't really like really hot weather either, but I would prefer hot weather over cold weather. Because cold weather brings ice and snow. As much as I travel, I hate driving in ice and snow. Oh yeah, that's what I was talking about. Killifish. Yeah, I get other small fish species that live 2 or 3 years. I don't think nothing about it. But because the killifish have been pointed out that they don't live long, it's got stuck in my mind that, oh, it's a waste to buy them because they're going to die soon. But I think if I get some and I try not to think about it and don't worry too much about trying to breed them and all that stuff, then I might start to enjoy them. I've had some killifish, of course. I've had the American flagfish, and I thought they were cool. Um, the last pair that I had beat up all the fish I had in the tank, ate all the plants, and didn't have the best experience with those. But then, and if I didn't say hello to you, Jennifer Weaver, hi. I don't remember if I did or not, but I don't think I did. But I had the American flagfish, and then I got blue Gularis once upon a time. And I got those thinking, oh, they're cool. I've got another Charis fish. And then I started overthinking that I need to put them in a big tank because I need to make them super happy so they can breed because they're going to die in a few months. And I think it just got to me mentally. And I think if I just got them and enjoyed them as, a pet or, not not as a project that I need to breed really quickly, then I might would enjoy them more. And listening to some of the killifish people and like Scotty the Fish Freak on his stream the other day, talking about keeping killies in like 2.5 gallon tanks. If I get some smaller ones that are okay in little 2.5 gallon tanks, keeping them in a 5 would be, a smaller tank that I could use. And I could set it up and have more tanks in the same space with different species. Thanks for being here, Kenny. Hope work is easy on you today. And I know I'm rambling about all kinds of stuff. If y'all have a better topic that you want me to talk about, let me know and I'll try. I didn't put a topic together or plan on talking about anything. And I have no idea on this conversion rate, Celsius to Fahrenheit. All I know is in Celsius, 0 is freezing, 100 is boiling, and 20 something is comfortable. And I could be wrong with some of those. It would be easier if everybody used the same system, if we all used Celsius or we all used Fahrenheit or Kelvin or whatever. Most of the world uses Celsius. And of course, us Americans are set in our ways and stubborn and stuff that we're not going to change. Our way's the best. So I guess we're stuck. So I moved all of my tanks out of the house into the shed, the shack, whatever. And now I'm sitting at the house sometimes, missing seeing fish, and being too lazy to walk outside. So I'm going back and forth about should I put a 125 gallon tank in the living room? And then if I do, what do I put in it? I've got a 65 I'm moving to the house. It's all the little adulting things that get in the way. Like home ownership. That means you got to paint the living room. I need to paint my living room. I hate painting. I could pay somebody to do it, but I'm too cheap to do that. So I guess I need to paint the living room before I move the fish tank in. Okay, so now I'm curious, and I've probably seen it somewhere and not remembering at the moment. But Mark and Craig, are you both in Australia? I think I saw the reference to Melbourne. and then talking temperature in Celsius. The first time I ever tried streaming years ago, back before YouTube had the whole I can't go live without 1,000 on your phone and stuff. I think everybody that showed up in the stream was from Australia. Well, I guess it's cool that I get an Australia magnet. I watch a lot of channels and can't keep up where people are. Can't keep up with most people's real names. A lot of times I can't keep up with who put out what. I'll be talking to somebody like, I saw this video that was really cool. They were talking about this and that. And the person will reply to me, yeah, that was my video. I think it's neat that we have people all around the world that are in the community watching each other's videos and sharing information. When I was able to work night shift, on the days that I was off, I'd still stay up all night. And so I'd catch a lot more streams and stuff from people in Australia, New Zealand, other parts of the world. And I found it neat learning about those other areas that, what was similar, what was different. Um, maybe they did something similar to what we did in the U.S. here, but they called it something completely different. Yeah, there are a lot U.S. based channels. The car in front of me has like a ton of stickers all over the back window. That's great to show your personality or individualism or whatever on your car. And here it's not required to be able to see through your back window. So they're perfectly legal. I get easily distracted though. And I start trying to read every one of them. That's part of what happened the last time I totaled a car. There was an SUV in front of me with a lot of stickers on it. And by the time that I realized that my bumper was fixing to touch their bumper, it was too late. Of course, I half blame it on having YouTube going at the same time. I thought that was my exit. I guess not. Says I'm 100 miles away from changing what road I'm on, or turning, or whatever I'm doing. If you could read this, you're too close. Yeah, they didn't have one of those. Not on the car that I hit. They had a lot of political type stickers that were comedy. And so I was reading them and laughing at them. And realized I was really close to them, moving really fast, and they had stopped. And I hit my brakes, but the airbag came out, and I said, that's not good. Whatever's putting the blue light flashing in my window, reflection, and figure that out before I head back. I like that. I've debated on this trip. At the convention, they're going to have speakers, both live bear focused speakers and killifish focused speakers. And last year at the Triple Crown, I sat in on the board meeting, and they're talking about when they, or if they did combine conventions again, what should they change? And one thing was, at the Triple Crown, you'd have a killifish presentation going on at the same time as a cichlid presentation, at the same time as a live bear presentation, for example. So you had to pick which one you wanted to see, or that you would see, because maybe you wanted to see all three of them. So they fixed that for this year. And the speakers aren't at the same time. So I've been debating, do I try to go to all the speakers? Do I go watch a presentation on some scientific something or another about killifish and stuff that I don't know anything about, just claiming that I'm not into killifish? Or do I take that time to go look at the showfish and the vendor room and get lunch or whatever? And I'm still on the fence. I don't know. It'll probably be whatever my mood is at the moment. There was one presentation at the Triple Crown that I really wanted to see that I was upset that I had to miss. Or I didn't have to miss it, but it just wound up that I missed it. And luckily, this year, the speaker came to the Louisville Club and gave the same presentation. So I was able to see it. I was told that from people that saw it before that it was a little different, which I guess he kind of did on purpose so that people that had seen it before get a little different information. But it was still a lot of good information about stuff that I'm really into and really neat. Welcome back, Craig. Yeah, last year's a Triple Crown. We went into a presentation thinking it was about summer tubbing. And it was sitting together with us here was the vice president of my club that I'm president of, me, and Chattanooga Ed. And the guy started talking. It was not about summer tubs. I mean, it was a good presentation. It just wasn't what we were expecting. It wasn't. It was about stuff that we couldn't do. His presentation was kind of set up with the conditions that you live in Miami or somewhere that has a warm temperature. So it was neat to see the stuff that he was able to do. And part of the way through the presentation, we realized that there were other things going on at the same time that might be more beneficial to us. So we were like halfway up in this packed room in the middle of his presentation. We try to sneak out. We're not so graceful at sneaking out. Something I do like about the presentation type stuff is you get these quote unquote experts. You know, they may have PhDs or research facilities or whatever, and they'll come and tell you about this topic. And then you get to talk to them later. You know, they'll be around that you can ask them questions and stuff. And there was a presentation on Central American cichlids, and he brought up species differences and specific species that I had been looking at. And I had a question that I'd spent a couple hours the night before on Google and the internet and stuff trying to figure out which species the actual fish was. Because I had the common name, and everybody agreed that this was this common name, or that this fish was that common name, or whatever. That was this fish. but I couldn't find what the scientific name was. So I went to the presenter after the presentation and was telling him about that and asked, which species is this? And he says, well, it's been some debate, but it's this species. And then one of the other experts, that's a speaker at a different time, sat in the little audience area real close. He kind of gives him this look, and the speaker that I'm talking to, he goes, and I'm not going to use names, but he said, Dr. So-and-so disagrees with me and thinks the research is flawed. So it may be a different species. And it cracked me up that these PhDs are just like, no, you're wrong, I'm right. You know, I found it funny. Good night, Craig. Scroll through some chat here a bit. Yeah, I'm not a front row person most of the times, but if it's a presentation I think I'm going to be really into, I want to sit up front. Not necessarily for the hearing, but I refuse to admit that my eyesight's bad. They just keep the screens a little fuzzy. So like going into a presentation that I went into last year about swordtails, I knew I was going to be interested in it. So I sat 3 or 4 rows from the front. And I was able to actually, during the presentation, I didn't interrupt or anything, but he stopped in a moment and asked if there's questions. And I was able to actually ask the presenter a question and have it answered during the presentation. Welcome, Cora. Yeah, and I like at the conventions that most of the time the presenters are just mingling throughout the convention, and that can be good and it can be bad. So, like, if you're into rainbows, and Gary Lang's there giving a presentation. I'm having trouble with that word today, but Gary's there giving a presentation. He'll be out and about that you can see him maybe in the vendor room and talk to him, ask him some questions and say hi or whatever. So it could be good in that way. The way it can be bad is if you don't know who the person is and you're talking to them about something and you're like, oh, I don't know about these presenters and stuff. I don't know if I like this topic or not. This guy's supposed to be talking about something that I don't know that it's going to be that good. And then they announce for the speaker to come up, and the guy you're talking to stands up and walks up front. Yeah. I'm not going to say who that happened to last year. But I am an introvert. YouTube has been trying to help me with that. And when I go to these conventions, I'm trying to push myself out of my comfort zone and at least say hi to people. Because I'm the type that I would be fine to walk around all weekend and not say a word to anyone. But I'd probably get more enjoyment if I was talking to people. So I got to push myself to um, actually talk to people, to say hi. And it turns out they're a good opportunity to meet people, get inside stories on stuff. Because some of these fish people like to talk. And they will tell you stories about their fish keeping, or this one time this person, and they went out to do something and this other person really embarrassed themselves by doing this. Well, hello, Beta Aquatics. Just driving along somewhere in Ohio right now, rambling about nothing. Trying to think of um, what did I forget to bring? Right off the top of my head, no pun intended, I realized I forgot to bring my hat. I'm not really a hat person, but I'm not really a messy hair person either. And my hair is at the stage that it's impossible to make it look right. I prefer to keep it really close cut, but working so much, I don't get a chance to go get it cut very often. So it usually grows out, gets all shaggy and bugs me to death, and I zip it all off. Or I get it zipped off. My luck, I will have forgotten something that, like a Camp 5 here or something. I don't forget, I don't fish bags or something. Pet stores ought to sell fish bags. I don't know if I pinned that link right, but if it's pinned up there, anybody's welcome to come up. Tell us about what you got going on or whatever. I know I'm not the most entertaining person to watch drive, but thank you all for being here. I'm going to try to get footage of as much stuff as I can up here and actually be a fish tuber. I didn't get in the habit of videoing more stuff, whether I think it's going to be good or not, just video it. If it's not good, I can toss it or edit it into something halfway decent. But I am missing out on a lot because I don't do it. I thought I get self-conscious about it. Be in a store or an event, I'm like, they're gonna look at me weird. I'm gonna have a camera out talking, but there's like 5 or 6 other people in there with the camera out talking, so it wouldn't be that weird. Well, I'm already weird. Helicopter. Nice work. All right, a fork in the road. Which way do I go? Keep left. All right. I guess I'm on the north side of Cincinnati. I had the option to go towards Columbus or Dayton. I think I might look for plants up here too. Trying to keep live plants, but I've got a lot of artificial plants too. Moreover, just to have hides for all the fry and stuff that I can get. All right, so read the comments here. Don't read in the card in front of me. If you go for killies, ask the vendors which species will breed and not eat eggs or fry. Some of the Ephesimians, maybe I said that right, are able to have multiple ages in the same tank. Okay. I'm trying to think there was one that I was looking at that a local guy bred. I don't know if he still breeds or not. Australel orange or something like that. If it was an Ephesimian. Ephesimian That kind of sounds familiar. It seems like, from my experience with the exception of maybe one. All the clubs that I've been to have their, I don't want to say token killifish person, but they have at least one person that is like a killifish diehard. They're in email chains and Zoom meetings and all the killifish stuff. So I guess it's a good resource. I just think it's neat that I've noticed that out of each of the clubs I've been to, and not so much with the, like, you got the beta fish person or the catfish person, cichlid person. And maybe that's just because the betas and catfish and cichlids are more commonplace fish, that you can see those in like pet stores and everybody sees them and stuff. But the killifish aren't really that type of fish. You don't see those really in the pet stores. You might see a like a clown killie or a golden wonder, but the other ones you don't really see. And I need to try the whole getting into breeding fish with mops and peat and all that stuff, I'm sure. But I do prefer the fish that you can put them in the tank and set them up and have the habitat right and feed them right. They have their own babies. You don't have to pull the eggs or pull the parents or drop the water 50% and add some chemical or something and stand on your left foot and hold your right hand up. But I was thinking the other day, I've bred enough live bears in my local club's BAP program to get the live bear award that maybe I should start looking at like other types, like cichlids or barbs or something, to work on that. Rocket, golden water, Florida, flagfish. Is killing. Yeah, you see that the Florida flagfish in pet stores. It's a killifish. It's a type of a pup fish. The rocket killies, yeah, that, if I'm correct, that's another name for the clown killie. You see those sometimes. You don't see them as commonly as you do live bears, betas. Yeah. And years ago, when I started the YouTube channel, I didn't realize the live bears were as large a group as they are. So there was 4 species, and that's it. And so whenever I was looking at the BAP program, and you had to have like, I don't remember exactly what it is now off the top of my head, maybe 10 species bred to get the live bear award. I'm like, how is that even possible? There's only guppies, mollies, swordtails, and platies. There's 4 species of live bears. Well, now I know there's a lot more. You could do that with just the Xiphophorus genus. 26 species there, you know, you could hit your 10 twice. There's a whole other world out there besides what we see in the pet stores. Half peaks. If I see affordable half peaks, I might pick up some half peaks. I don't know. I have to look into them some more. I don't want to do brackish water, but I think there's some freshwater half peaks. Recently, I've gotten into the like super nano live bears, like the least killifish, the tiger teddies, the golden teddies, the four-spot Mary widows that I have. I didn't even know that they existed. The four-spot Mary widows, I didn't even know they existed. And went into somebody's room last year at the Shrimp Crowd, and the guy goes, "You see something cool?" And Walker pulls the bed sheets down on the bed. I'm like, "Oh goodness, what's he going to show us?" It was me and James from Fish are in there. And I just kind of looked at James. I'm like, "The guy's going to show us something cool in his bed." Yeah, you go first. And he had the four-spot Mary widows and some guppies and different stuff backed up and under the covers in the bed to keep it warm. Let's see. Guppies, mollies, platies, swordtails, endlers, limia, goodyead. Is that all of them? And then a couple species within each genus. Okay, so live bears that I know of. Half beaks. They weren't on the list. Limias, you have different species of limias. Goodyeads, you have 50-something species of goodyeads. Swordtails and platies. There's about 26 species of those. Guppies, technically one species of guppy. Endlers, technically one species of endler. Mollies, I have no idea how many species of mollies. There's more than one species. There's more than 4. Then you have Phala-ichthys. You have trying to remember what Xenophalius, I think it is. The tiger teddies and golden teddies. There's a couple species of those. There's probably about 4 species of the Phala-ichthys. Then there's a genus of, I think it's called like Basileopsis, something like that. It's really close to like the molly genus name, but they changed it just enough to make it confusing. There's a handful in that genus, I think. The knife live bears I have, I don't remember their genus, but it starts with an A. And there's at least 2 species of that genus. So there's quite a few live bears out there. And that's part of my attraction to live bears right now is the stuff that I haven't heard of. And I bring them back and I learn about them. I breed them. I take the information to my local clubs and share with those people. And most of the time they haven't heard of them either. You know, we've heard of goodyeads being on YouTube. And they're fairly popular on YouTube. There's a number of people that keep them and talk about them and stuff like that. But there's at least 2 to 3 clubs that I go to regularly that I might find one other person that has ever heard of Agudia. It'd be cool to have a pike live bear. I don't know how big they get, but they're bigger than your standard live bear. And they kind of look like a gar. They're, what do they call them? Piscivores. They eat fish. So that would be something interesting to get. And if I see those and they're within my price range, I might buy 1 or 2 or 10. Don't have a clue where I would put it. That's the funny thing. I'm going up here and practically all my tanks have fish in them. So if I go up here and I buy a bunch of different fish that can cohabitate, Monday when I get home, I'm gonna have to play like musical tanks or something. And along with the other live bears, like your, I'm not really counting them into my list, but like your stingrays, I think those are live bears. I know the stingrays are alive. Did I drop off? I think I'm back. Is that the name of the pike live bear? Yeah, shark stingrays. Uh, in the phone. It's awesome that the phone tells me potential spam. Yes, I want to upgrade my car's extended warranty. um, but the anaflaps or whatever, the four-eyed fish, they're live bears too. But yeah, coming in, I think I even made a video years ago about the 4 types of live bears. I did a species profile on swordtails. Oh goodness. I thought that the swordtails that are in the pet store are a species and that's it. That's swordtails. I didn't know that the swordtails in the pet store are hybrids. And I've kind of steered away from like the domestic strains. I still keep a few. They catch my interest now and then. But I'm more of a naturalist or purist or whatever. I don't want to mix my species. I hope so. That's gold. That's what you should do for your We've Come So Far anniversary video. My other phone's dinging that I've got meetings at work. I'm not going. Oh, they were calling and texting me this morning. Not everybody gets notifications that I'm not going to be there. And they start calling and texting and wanting to know stuff and ask questions. My signal's like so spotty. I don't know. I just lose signal sometimes when work calls. I don't know. Yeah, I've been known to come home from fish events, not have anywhere to put fish, and have to set up like buckets and totes and anything that'll hold water to put the fish in with an air stone or a filter or something. I've been known to let's see if I can change lines. I've been known to buy tanks at events or on the way home, knowing that I didn't have anywhere to put the fish that I just bought. That's not a good recommendation for others. Don't repeat my bad habits. That's what you should tell your boss. I don't know. I just lose signal when work calls. Yeah, that's what happens. Officially, with my position, I'm in call. I'm on call 24/7. But I can't control signal issues. It's not like we are in New York City or something fancy like that. It's a big town that has perfect signal. I'm traveling through areas of rural, rural Ohio, and I don't know if my phone will pick up in Michigan. So if I have poor signal and I can't answer emails and phone calls and such, I'll get back with you as soon as I can. Hopefully that's not Monday evening or Tuesday. All right. Try to read chat here. Jennifer said, I went to a meeting and my husband spent the evening clearing off an island in the kitchen. When he got up in the morning, the island was covered in fish tanks. Yes. Well, that's another reason that I moved all of my tanks out of the building. It got to the level that, so I live in almost a tiny house. I think it's around 700 square feet, 2 bedrooms. So it got to the point where any flat surface, kitchen counters, entertainment centers, whatever, any open floor space had tanks. Spots of rooms that I didn't think I would use as much had tanks, racks, or whatever. So, like, right before I moved the tanks into the fish building, I think I had around 40 tanks in there. So in my bedroom, I could walk into the bed. I had the closet full of tanks. To get to like my dresser thing that had my clothes in it. I had to turn sideways and shimmy around the edge of the bed because there was racks at the foot of the bed and the side. There was things on the dresser thing. A lot of live bearers pick up the name top minnow or killifish. I've noticed that. Like the least killifish. It's a live bear. And there's a number of other ones being referred to as top minnows. And I kind of wonder, is the picking up the killifish classification due to what killifish means? You know, the word killifish basically just means like a ditch fish. And a lot of times you'll find live bears in just ditches and puddles of water. I want to try some gambusia too. Gambusia being the native local live bear we have here. The pike live bear being of that family, the Basilidae, whatever. It could be. I've looked into it a little bit, enough to know that I'm interested, but I didn't dive deep into it as far of details. That is the most common of the family of live bears, I think, on a podium and such. There are apparently a bunch of different types of gambusia. Alex showed us some cool pictures of what he found in Florida. Yeah, there's a number of species of gambusia. And unfortunately, the government keeps releasing Gambusia affinis, the western mosquito fish, all over the world for mosquito control. And they, Gambusia affinis, I mean, it is a mean fish. I mean, you don't think about live bears being mean fish, but Gambusia affinis is. And there are some species of Gambusia that are near extinction now because the affinis was released into their lakes or ponds or whatever. And I know of a specific case in state down there, Texas, that there was a Gambusia species that only lived in this specific lake. That's the only place in the world you could find that species. And the government being the government and doing what the government does, release Gambusia affinis into that lake to control mosquitoes. And the Gambusia affinis not only eats the fry of the Gambusia that was in that lake, but they also kill the adults. So now the gambusi that was native to that lake is almost completely wiped out. And Affinis is doing that around the world to multiple species. And the government continues to release them. I was talking to a guy a while back that was working to genetically engineer Gambusia affinis by putting pieces of other species in them so they could be released in more places around the world. And when I found out that that's what he was working towards, I had to bite my tongue so that I could be civil and just let the conversation go. Introducing species into areas that they don't belong is not something that I'm for. Genetically engineering fish is not something that I'm for. Mixing species isn't one of my top things. Humans don't have a good history of introducing an animal or a species into an area it's not native to in order to fix a problem. Don't have a good history of that at all. The majority of the time, we create a bigger problem than what we had before. I mean, the cane toad is a perfect example of that. You get these toads running around the world, killing off tons of species because governments thought it was a good idea to release them to control insect populations. Welcome, Crown Tail. I'm just driving and rambling. Somewhere in Ohio. Looks like cornfields on both sides of me. Or maybe there's soybean fields. Doesn't look like there's anything on them now. I say that about a lot of things. That we do more damage than we help. I didn't know that the reason there are invasive oscars in Florida was because the government put them there. I just learned that recently. The government put oscars there. The government put peacock bass there. I mean, the Goodyear species was heavily impacted by the government introducing sport fish into their streams. Fish that could be caught and eaten. Now all but 3 species of Goodyear are extinct or endangered to some level. That's another thing I'll look for, the trout Goodyear. I didn't have a whole lot of interest in the trout gudea, but I found out that they weren't endangered, but because I like keeping the endangered gudeas. I'd be getting spotty soon. But I kind of lost interest in them a little bit when I found they weren't endangered. But it seems like everybody else around me is interested in them and want to learn about them and want to get some, and you don't see them down my way. So if I see some up here, I might pick them up. That way I can breed them and maybe start providing them to my area. All right, one of my co-workers loves to bring up the habitat destruction caused by the dams and things from the 1920s. Yeah, that farmers. Let's get past this bridge. That farmers know better than engineers or something, but in the last 50 years, yeah. What is the name of that dam down there? Let's see. Made massive strides as far as power generation. And water diversion without destroying as much habitat and erosion, etc. The same. True with wildlife management, but it's obviously balanced. We've probably made some strides and advancements, but we're still destroying a ton of stuff with dams. That's why I started to talk about the I can't remember the name of it, Bella Notte or something like that. A dam down on the Xingu River. Brazil was advised not to put that in, as much damage as it would do to the ecosystems. And they built it anyways. And that's the river that the zebra pleco, the L333 pleco, I can't think of I've got their image in my head of different species that's popular in the hobby, but they are on that river, the Xingu River. And Brazil built a dam on the river, and it changed the habitats above the dam and below the dam. They have changed the temperature and water flow to the point that, like, the zebra plecos are having a hard time breeding now. I forget how many species they said they've lost, like gone, because of this. Native people that lived in the area can't live there anymore. Wildlife that lived like on the land, like terrestrial wildlife, species have disappeared there too. And because they put the dam in and changed the water flow and stuff, now that's opened up the area below the dam because it's such fertile land now for mass agriculture, which is horrible for aquatic life altogether there too. So now they're getting rid of the area that the terrestrial wildlife would have, making it farms, and all the fertilizers and stuff are going into the river. But at least they got the dam right. Makes electric. All the silt and stuff in it, in the water, has made the dam inefficient to the point that they're looking for alternative sources of power now. He didn't even make it 10 years. All right. Looks like Brandon came in. Which road am I on? Yeah. Apparently my tongue doesn't work after a rant. Which road am I on? I am on I-75. I'm going to drive past your place on the way to Kalamazoo. Oh, am I? Awesome. I think I stay on 75 the whole way. I mean, like with the Goodyears, we're destroying their habitat further and further, and we can't reintroduce those. We can't reintroduce those because of all the pollution. Luckily, with the Goodyears, we have been able to reintroduce 2 species that were extinct in the wild: the tequila split fins and the golden skiffia, Skiffia French Tesse. Both those species have been reintroduced into their original native habitat, and so far have been successful. There's a good program down there where they not only remove the invasive species and clean the waterways, but they're also educating the local people on what a treasure they have in their waterways, and teaching the kids and the adults and everything to protect their waterways. And they've done really good. And they've become really protective of the waterways. Also want to talk about strides. Unfortunately, I'm talking from a U.S.-centric viewpoint. I finally started fixing the mistakes our ancestors made. It's painful to watch Brazil make some mistakes. Yeah. We're right around Michigan, Indiana border, not too far off I-69, only an hour south of Kalamazoo. Project Piaba, yeah. Is that like Project Piaba? Not really. I'm guessing you're talking about the activities with reintroducing the Goodyears. Okay, first, before I forget, Brandon, if you're an hour away from Kalamazoo, I sure hope you're coming up to the convention. Even if you don't register for the convention, you stop by for a day, check out the vendor room, track me down, and say hi. If I was an hour away from one of these conventions, I'd try to make it. But back to the Project Piaba. Both are good projects. Both are good things for conservation. Project Piaba, what they do, they work with the locals there in the area to help them with sustainable fishing of the ornamental fish, of the aquarium fish. So in that area, they get the wet season, the dry season. The wet season, the water comes up, and then the dry season, the water recedes. And you wind up with little puddles of water that fish get trapped in. That there may be 1,000 cardinal tetras in this little puddle that by the end of the dry season, the puddle's going to be completely dry. So Project Piaba, they work to educate about the area and get the locals collecting the fish out of these puddles that the fish are going to die in if they don't take them out, and get those into the hobby instead of going into the mainstream and wiping out populations in the stream, in the river. So if you get Project Piaba fish, it's helping with the education about the conservation. It's giving a livelihood to the locals there, and it's saving the fish from dying that would have been in the puddles. It's a sustainable harvesting. And if we go to all tank raised and tank bred fish instead of getting them from the wild like this, then the locals would have to turn to something else to make a living. Agriculture, which is going to put fertilizers in the water, or mining. Mining is big down there, and they dump waste and silt and stuff into the waters, which wipes out entire streams. So Project Yab is good. It's a little different. They're not reintroduced, as far as I know. They're not reintroducing fish that have been lost in the area, but they're doing good things for conservation as well. Brandon says, I'm not sure if I'll make it. I'm having a crazy busy week with my certification class and won't finish until late tomorrow. I understand. Life gets in the way of the fun stuff. Brandon's going to become an unlicensed, unbonded plumber. Good for him. I don't know if that's true or a joke or whatever, but I'm all about it. So backflow is like plumbing. I know enough of plumbing and electric and all that to be dangerous. So if y'all ever see stuff on my videos about I'm hooking up plumbing or I'm hooking up electric, don't do what I do. But you might watch the video just to get a good laugh. Personally, I think a lot of this certification, licensing, all this stuff, I get what they're trying to do, but I think it's too much, in my opinion. I know you get a bunch of idiots out there, a bunch of people doing stuff that they don't know what they're doing. And I don't know. Regulations as a whole, I think, have just went overboard. But then maybe because common sense has disappeared. It should be quite an event up there. There's a lot of club influence in that area. Yeah, I think it was two clubs helping host, Michigania and Grand Valley, I believe. And it's a shame. I mean, it's nice to see clubs working together, but it's a shame that it has to come to that. That anymore, you can't get people to help with stuff, with clubs and stuff. And, I've seen it starting clubs and helping clubs get off the ground. And so many people want the benefits of the club. They want the stuff they would get from it, but they don't want to, help out. They don't want to, lift a finger to make it better. They just want to take. And, talking to some of the national groups like the ACA, ALA, all that, that's been part of the struggle recently, while they're having, joint events, is they can't get clubs to do them anymore because the clubs can't get volunteers to help set them up and work them and break them down and all that. I've talked to clubs that I'm around and stuff about, hey, you ought to look at bringing the ACA and you ought to look at bringing the ALA in. And the response I get from a lot of them is, we can't get the volunteers. Nobody wants to help. Everybody wants to show up and get the fish and stuff, but nobody wants to do the behind the scenes things of putting the tanks up and building the stands and all that stuff. Let's see. I think maybe we don't need as many regulations, but I've also been in homes that people built without inspections or that aren't up to code or just old. I don't know. Pretty. Yep. And that's what I was meaning. Like, I understand why they're there because people don't do what they're supposed to. We've got people that don't have common sense, that don't care. But I don't know. I just don't like people telling me what to do. Yeah, I've lived in a few homes that are sketchy stuff. One of the bigger backflow preventers is the big air gap between your faucet and the basin, your sink tub gets water from. Going back up your pipes, the sink is full of water. Yeah, that makes sense. That reminds me of, I think it was a video I watched that Corey put out about how he was getting in trouble for his auto water change system. I think it was Corey. That he was putting his auto water change system in and had his water in system, like the water coming into the tanks, too close to the water level of the tanks. And I think it was the city got onto him that he needed to give more space between them so they didn't backflow and fish water into the water system. We learned a lot through the fish hobby. Learned plumbing, electrical, carpentry, fluid dynamics. Learned physics. I think I made a video about that once. The model train hobby calls themselves the greatest hobby. Like, fish keeping is bigger, better. We touch on so many more things than model trains. We keep basically entire worlds in a little glass box. That's why they say fish keepers have like the God syndrome, that we want to control life, be the creators. Let's see, I'm learning about backflow. Some people got basements full of train tracks, and some people got basements full of fish tanks. Yes. And at my last house, I was going to try both. And I realized I'm not that rich. And to me, fish tanks are cooler, and I can do them on a lot better of a budget. Not a whole lot of DIY stuff that I know of on trains, but fish aquarium stuff, I can DIY a lot of stuff. And I've got entire setups that everything in them has pretty much been free. I've gotten free tanks and free filters and free fish. Probably the only thing that would be in there would be, substrate that I bought substrate for. So that's kind of the idea that started that $50 challenge. That I could do it for a lot less. I could do get a fish tank set up for free, but it might take me a couple of years, and I didn't want the viewers to have to wait a year for me to get a tank. Oh, I missed what Brandon said about a full tank, so let's go back. Up. Cool. I can make something pop up on the screen. So let's see. I figured out the backflow bridge. Loading. That would be kind of cool. Tank like a sea down a fish or something. Just something living in the lake. The train's on top. Yep, it's on the S23. And when I got my case in, the thumbprint thing, I could not get it to work with the front that had the plastic over the front. But the one that I got had the plastic over the front, and then they said a separate front that had the open front. So I switched it to the one with the open front, and now I got the thumbprint thing working. Which I set it like a thumbprint. But I set that up, and I set the pattern and the face recognition thing, because I hate when I can't figure out how to get into my phone. Pike top minnow. I think you're probably thinking about the pickerel. I think Brandon's got a pickerel. It kind of looks like what the pike top minnow or pike love bear look like. Uh-oh. Wanted some, but not anymore. Is there a reason that you don't want it anymore? Is there like a horror stories of them? What happened? Did I drop off? Am I still on? The whole screen just like flashed. So I don't know what that meant. GPS is talking to me. Why am I getting off? I'm not Michigan yet, am I? so I did drop off, but I'm back now. Okay, good. I'm just going to stick with larger natives moving forward. I need to learn more about the pike, top minnow or pike claw bear before I get it, I guess. Not to mean I won't get it if I see it and learn about it later. Doesn't 75 run to Michigan? Yeah, I'm getting off. Let's see. On the Highway 33. Somewhere up through here. Right here. Well, half a mile. So where's this pike top minnow from? Okay, yeah, I'm getting on 33. And I go to I-69. Okay. Yeah, I haven't been to Michigan before that I know of. I always thought it was like a million miles away. South America. So I definitely need to look into those more because I may end up trying to find one. And my luck, I'll find one and it'll destroy everything in the tank and then die itself. But hopefully not. So they're good to know. Talk to fish tanks. Ryan, that's his name. Apparently, they're extra aggressive to similarly shaped fish like the half beaks. So there's aggressive to half beaks, or half beaks are aggressive. And I know I looked it up at one point, but how big did these things get? I knew they were larger, but I don't remember how larger is. Okay, so in my mind, so that y'all know what I'm thinking, I'm wondering how they would do with a fisher, like her Bashir, Polyandrous. That may be too small. 4 to 5 inches. Okay. In my brain, I was thinking they get larger than that. I got swordtails there. Yeah, pretty good size like that. All right, live bear is aggressive towards head beaks. Okay. Good hop off later, guys. Good time. All right, thanks for stopping in, Brandon. It's going on noon, or it is noon. Or, I don't know, what time zone it is? Yep, Eastern. Okay, yeah, so it's noon. And if you're able to make it up to Kalamazoo, stop by. Yeah, I don't know how long I'll keep this going, me rambling and stuff. I like when we're having conversations and stuff. I didn't know if I'd be able to see chat. I know when I watch streams on my phone, sometimes the chat just kind of fades away. But in StreamYard, it's got the little thing over to the side that keeps it up there where I can see it. So that's all right. The pikes are brackish tolerant. Do they have to be brackish? I don't want to mess with salt. That may be why I quit looking at them. Great. What's the speed limit? My phone tells me what the speed limit is. It says 70. All right, so I'm going under the speed limit. Those were blue lights, but not for me. I was thinking it's getting around noon. I might have to find some lunch. There's nothing out here. It's just like fields, a barn. Kind of looks like what it does whenever I go to see my mom. She lives up in somewhere in Ohio. I don't know if it's northern, but she's on the other side of the state. If they're invasive in the U.S., they're probably can handle wide variety of parameters. Greetings, Scanty Nona. Welcome to the I'm just rambling as I drive stream. I figured I'd give you all a place to chat. Anybody wants to pop up on the stream, if I've figured out how to pin that link up there, they can. If not, I don't know what I'm doing. It gives me a reason to talk and ramble. And, you know, if a couple people watch, I'm getting a couple hours on my watch hours or whatever. I'm nowhere near where I need to be to get monetized. But I figure if I can start learning to stream and I can start streaming, that'll start getting some up, and maybe in a couple of years I'll hit the level to be monetized. And maybe I'll make a dime or two off the monetization and able to contribute back to the channel a little bit, give the viewers something. So I've got 8 or so people watching. Is everyone getting to go to the Keystone Clash? I asked earlier about the ALA convention, and it seemed like there was a lot getting to go to it. Keystone Clash is still a few months away. I know there's more fish tubers going to be able to make it to that one. It seems like it's more of a social type event as well. That more of the fish tubers try to get to it, whereas the ALA is more of a educational type event, more sciencey. Got like more science-y type presentations. And the Keystone Clash has more like, I know there's some well-educated people speaking at the Keystone Clash. I don't mean anything by that, any disrespect or anything like that, but it's more, the topics seem to be, I think, Keystone Clash more a general public friendly type talks. Clash is on the opposite coast. Okay. That's a shame. That would make for a fun long road trip stream. I know a few from the West Coast are going to fly out, but I'm the type. I like being able to drive. That, if I need to change course all of a sudden, or I need to turn around and go back real quick, or have the freedom to go where I want, when I want, all that. All right, so Speedy Notice says, my husband can push me in a wheelchair. Y'all can nudge me awake and introduce yourselves. Heard Mark Sturl said, we'll be making it next year from Australia. That'll be fun. I haven't committed to any events next year yet. I figured get through a few of them this year to see. I don't even know what my schedule will be like next year. Usually go a couple of days early and help with the setup. I may have to go to the West Coast in 2024. I've thought about one of the West Coast. Okay, do I need to pass or I need to get off? I need to get off. Maybe all I need to do is like pass my exit. Who knows where. I talked about possibly going to the Fishtoberfest this year. I'm going to get to make it. Putting on an event like that is a big thing. It's a lot of work and stuff. The clubs I'm in put on, besides the meetings are an event. Our work to put meetings on. And then the swaps and stuff like that take even more work. I start working on swaps 6 months ahead. So I can imagine like the Keystone Clash or a national convention, the Fendig, that type of stuff is an undertaking. But I would still love to, have one of my local clubs do that. I mean, the clubs that have been around a while, like Louisville, Cincinnati, and stuff, they've hosted the national conventions before. Louisville did the Triple Crown last year. I would love to see the newer ones do stuff, or the ones that have been around a while, set up their own, like the Fendig type thing, like the Keystone Clash, one that they host every year. And the ones that have been around a while probably wouldn't do that, or they would have already done it by now. Just because they get the national ones every now and then, they know the work that goes into it. Let's see, I'm flying to Florida tomorrow. See how I hold up. I hope you do well, Sketty. Um, Going to Florida sounds fun. I'll be doing that in a couple of weeks for a family trip. Work YouTube channel so we can fundraise your trips. Yeah, I can't believe how much planning and prep goes into Fishmas in July. Fishmas, really great people. Yeah, we've got quite a. Sorry, driving's getting me distracted from my stream. Got a lot of great stuff going on in the community. I'd love to see even more. I'd love to see the community grow, be even more inclusive. And the fish fam or fish tube, whatever you want to call it. I know some people don't like the name fish fam, some people call it fish tube, whatever we are. It's kind of like its own fish club. It's a virtual fish club, I guess. Um, Driving is distracting me. Yes, we are peer pressuring you. We want everyone to be successful and to build their channel, their brand, their place in the community um, to success. We have a great community here. I've been in and am part of other social media communities on YouTube and other platforms, and some of them are pretty good. This one is one of the top-notch ones. But yeah, it's developed or developing into basically a virtual fish club. It doesn't have the legal standings um, that a lot of the, I'd say brick and mortar, not brick and mortar, like in person fish clubs have. But I think it would be totally possible to get the fish fam or fish tube to that point. I mean, we have, a lot of fish clubs have a speaker. They have events, and FishTube has that. I mean, technically, if you want to look at it this way, we have meetups, we have meetings where we get together. And there goes the signal. Am I back? Am I back? Am I back? Aquashella of the fish tubers. Keystone Clash clearly is a meeting of the fish tubers. Other events around, draws people from around the country, around the world that are fish tubers. Fish fam. If you don't have a shirt that says that, we need shirts that say Fish Fam Kirby. So I mean, like legally to be a legal club or whatever, it requires you to have meetings. And I think many areas, because there's national regulations and state regulations I'm not a licensed representative anything dealing with any of this, so I'm not offering any advice, legal advice, or whatever disclaimer needs to be there. That's the disclaimer. But I think a lot of areas just require a minimum of one meeting a year, and we do that. We have, oh wow, some big piece of farm equipment that my car can drive under, driving down the road. Anyways, distracted. Um, with the fish tube community, you know, we we kind of have meetings like the clubs do. I mean, they're not the same. The meetings aren't the same format as like the clubs do. We do that online. If you want to admit it or not, there is leadership in the community. People take the leadership role of saying, "This is what we're doing," and they make it happen. And the example that Christmas, leadership was taken and said, "This is what's doing. This is what's happening. Um, these are the rules that you got to go by." That's there's leadership there. Leadership may change event to event, month to month. A lot of it stays in the same place. Um, and they might not want to say they're leaders, but they're leaders. A lot of people look to those people for assistance and guidance and leadership and role models and that type of stuff. Sorry, I'm on another little rant. Let's see. Blood of the covenant is thicker than water of the womb. Water of the fish tank than blood or something. How do we that sense makes this for shirt? Blood is thicker than water. Tank water is always thicker than blood when it's got duckweed. I'm not good with coming up with shirts and stuff like that either. I was surprised the little Tennessee Fish Mafia logo thing that I made up as a joke one night with Ed took off. He was just on a stream talking about the Tennessee Fish Mafia, and I'm sitting up late and I'm just doodling on my phone. I doodle little images and stuff for thumbnails and whatnot, stuff, and I made up that little Tennessee Fish Mafia logo and sent it to him with LOLs. Next thing I know, he's got a banner and shirts and hats. I mean, he told me he was going to do it, and people across the country is wearing the little logo that I made up. I'm like, oh wow, it was a joke one night. Kind of twisted off the Godfather thing. Don't have any duckweed. I can help fix that problem. Right now, as far as getting a Mafia shirt, Ed is the sole distributor of those, and I think currently he is only doing those in person. I don't know that he's mailing any out, but last I heard he was working to try to get them put on a website or get put on the Get Gills site, or Etsy or something, so that people could order them. I see people say a lot. It's crazy when people actually follow through like that about like making the shirts. Yeah, a lot of farmland up here. I think you see a town. Looks just like a house and fields. The GPS. All right. Hey, a gas station. I'm good for gas right now. Um, totally forgot what I was saying. Oh, well, is this my turn? Yes, this is my turn. Yeah, I think the different shirts and stuff, all the sayings and stuff is neat. I was thinking earlier as I was packing my bag to the car and stuff, really? I could probably go to these things and not take any shirts. Because when I go to these events, anybody that has a shirt for sale, I usually buy one. Um, Now, if it's like, say, Ryan at Wild Fish Tanks at the Triple Crown, he had like 20 shirts. So, no, I didn't buy 20 shirts from him. But, if like Cunningham Cichlids had a shirt, I bought one of his shirts. And there was I bought an ALA shirt, different stuff like that. I couldn't afford to buy one of every one of Ryan's shirts. Um, but, start the collection. Oh, that was weird. I guess it's needed, but it's just like fields, 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 house, fields, 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 gas station, and more fields. Maybe that was a sign that I should have got gas, whether I needed it or not. Oh, see, I thought I'd be on the interstate the whole way. I'm on a little two-lane road through farm country. Well, I might have to look into that high top. That's on my mind now. My luck, I'll get it and find out it's illegal here. I wanted blind cave catchers for a while. Thought it'd be cool. Before everybody else started talking about making a cave tank, I saw an article in one of the magazines about a tank set up for the blind cave tetras that was set up like a cave with the stalactites and stalagmites and this little moon light that's coming down through. I thought it'd be cool to set one of those up, so I was looking for them for a while. Of course, when I look for anything, I never can find it. And then I found out that they're illegal in Kentucky. And then shortly after I found out they're illegal in Kentucky, I find like 4 pet stores around the state that have them. And so I was tempted to get them. But I know my luck. As soon as I get a fish that's illegal, I'm going to get a knock on the door. That's my luck. Everybody and their brother can have those illegal fish and have them all over YouTube and Facebook and tell people about their illegal fish. I get one and I get visitors in uniform. So, So I think I'm gonna have to talk myself into start doing a regular stream. And I'm not the type to think, oh, I can't do it because somebody's just streaming or worry about what time slots are open and all that kind of stuff. I see YouTube like TV. There's different channels for different people to watch. If you don't, you flip to this live stream and they may be talking about guppies and you don't really like guppies. Well, change the channel, switch to a different live stream, and they can be talking about killifish. And you can watch them. Ro says, I vote Tuesday. I think that's the day I get to work. Down the road. I think that's the day I get to work every day and there's nobody on. Yeah. Tuesdays and Thursdays are probably out for me. There are days, Tuesdays and Thursdays, where I leave the house at 3 a.m. and I get home a little after 9. And then have to get back up at 3 a.m. the next day. So I don't know. I might like start working on pop-ups to see what fits first. And then go from there. And used to, there was like a full day stream, there was every day of the week, there was from about 3 o'clock Eastern up until probably 3 a.m. There were streams every day, every hour. Somebody was live. A lot of those people don't stream anymore. All those people don't have active channels anymore. Saturday and Sunday was the day from like 9 a.m. until we would go to 3 or 4 in the morning. There was somebody on live all day long. And it's not that way anymore. There's a lot of gaps. A lot of people go at the same time. And that's fine. I like having options. I support everyone in the FishTube community to do their best, be successful, and I wish them the best. There are a few that I might not watch as often because they don't do the things that I'm as interested in, or they say or do things that I don't necessarily agree with. So, I mean, for me, if those people are streaming that they do stuff that I don't agree with or don't do things that I'm really interested in, it'd be nice to have another stream going at the same time that I could watch and interact with. Next little town I come to. I don't think I've seen a town for I don't know how long. But I was going to say, next little town I come to, I might start looking for food. It's getting close to 1 here. Food kind of sounds good. Yeah, talking about running into people at uh, Keystone Clash, the ALA, and fish conventions and stuff like that. And I got a couple of shirts made with my Slate Pet logo on them because I'm like, half these people, I see them on YouTube, but in person, I probably won't recognize them. So I'll wear this shirt so that maybe they'll recognize me. It's worked some. And then me having that thought process confused me crazy at Aquaticon. Lefty came in wearing a Katie Tropical shirt, and he just totally confused me. Like, that person looks familiar, but it's not John or Lisa. Who is that? And it took me a minute or two. I'm slow sometimes. Signal's got spotty a couple times, but I'm surprised it's kept on as long as it has. It says I've been running for 3 hours and 13 minutes. Yeah, that's what I figure. Debs, I'm gonna pick a time, and I'll do that. I may do pop-ups in between or before I pick a time. Um, and I know that I've talked to other people that have stopped streaming or gotten out of the YouTube thing altogether because other channels, um, let's say other channels approach them aggressively for streaming at the same time they were streaming, and it was their time slot, and they needed to back off. And I'm okay with that. They can come at me. I'm not one of the most popular YouTube channels. I'm not the big guy. Everybody's watching this stuff. And I may say stuff that people don't agree with. Oh, a little bitty road. I can't tell if this is a 1-lane road or a 2-lane road. I think it's a little 2-lane barely road. The sign said local traffic only. It's like I'm cutting through a subdivision or something, but there's no houses. There's houses sporadically. What was that? It's like a board on a pole with a wagon wheel on it. I don't know. But yeah, I was asked earlier how serious I wanted the channel to be. I would like it to be educational. I don't think I'm funny at all. I tell jokes and nobody laughs. I might be the only one laughing. So, serious isn't successful. I mean, that. Great. Do I have the hiccups now? That would be okay for it to be successful. I mean, I'm not expecting to get rich off of it or whatever. I mean, if it makes a couple dollars that I can put back into a giveaway or something, that's cool. trouble strips telling me to stop. I guess I'm supposed to go straight. I don't know. Alright. Gonna turn coming up here a little ways. I guess that's a benefit of living in Kentucky. They say that from Kentucky you can get to 80% of the country driving within a day's drive. So I can drive to 80% of the country when there's a fish event, a Keystone Clash, Aquashella, National Convention, something. Bridge out. So let's go this way. I guess that's why I said local traffic only, because the bridge is out. Okay, so that was my second right-hand turn. Right, no. Okay, so I did left and a right. Okay, and now I'm going to do another right-hand turn up here. This thing's got me driving in circles. But yeah, I think if I figured out that you all can see me and you all can hear me, so I figured out streaming a little bit, and that's as I'm driving and not breaking it. If I was actually doing it at the house where I could actually focus more on the stream, I might could figure out a little bit more. And it might be a reason to talk myself into justifying getting internet at the house. Because I figure right now, I'm not there that much. No point in paying for when I do everything with phone anyways. Another stop sign. Here we go. Alrighty, it says I am 2 hours and 23 minutes away. Yeah, talking about watching on replays because you're in the UK. I watch a lot of stuff on replays also, just because of me always being at work or going somewhere or something. I watch a lot of the replays. Have to go to bed too early. But I need to do a better job at commenting when I watch replays, because I'll replay the live stream and have these thoughts of I would say this in the live chat if I was on live, but I don't comment it, and I need to start doing that to show more for interaction and support for the channels that I'm watching. I let them know that I'm watching. And I guess it's my own fault, but I got that pine cloud bear in my head. I did read that they like to eat their fry. So that'd be something I have to work to try to get some fry out of them. Make a little work on me. My first challenge with that thing is the 9 flat bears that I have. They're supposedly notorious fry eaters themselves, but I have gotten one fry. I have saved one fry out of them so far. That was just by chance. I looked down at the moment that the fry was there. I was able to scoop it out. I need to do better at actually watching when the female is getting close to giving birth and separate her out. Let's see. But yeah, getting the rare live bears and breeding them and introducing them to the local areas of people that have never heard of them and get people interested is it's something I'm into. Well, hello, Jason. Depths unknown. I am just driving around somewhere in Ohio, I think, and rambling along. Lurking from work. I was thinking, lurking from the south? Well, okay, that's different. Where did he go that's east south? Yeah, I'm glad to not be at work. And I told somebody, I said, even if I don't have any fun with the fish stuff, that it's not, for whatever reason, which lane do I take? Let's try that one. If it's not enjoyable fish-wise for me for whatever reason, I don't know why it wouldn't be. But I will enjoy not being at work. I went to Ohio on purpose? Yeah. Too fast. Got one of these little 4-leaf clover type turn things. Yeah, taking it at 60 wasn't a good idea. Let's play with the brakes a little bit. Yeah, I got to go through Ohio to get to Michigan. Got the ALA convention this weekend. And I'm just taking the day driving up there, enjoying the drive. I thought I might try to go to a Aquashella next year. I don't know. I said I wouldn't start thinking about next year's events until later in this year, but I mentioned Aquashella. I don't know if it's my type of thing, but I won't know till I try, I guess. Oh yeah, the cave tank. Yeah, yeah. I was glad to see people doing that after I wanted to do it and then found out they were illegal here. I'm still half tempted to do it. Windmills. That's cool. I've seen windmills in pictures, but I don't think I've ever seen actual wind farm in person. Those things are huge. Yeah, I thought about like doing a cave tank anyways, and maybe trying to get like some of the cave mollies or something. And I've talked to some of the live bear guys about that, and apparently, from what I'm piecing together in my mind, from what I'm being told, the cave mollies, which are legal in Kentucky, if I could get my hands on a cave molly, they turn back regular colors and eyesight gets better and stuff in captivity. Seeing the wind turbines, we have quite a few here. Yeah, I don't know that I've ever driven past them before. If I have, I've forgotten. I've seen them like in videos and stuff, but seeing them in person's pretty neat. And I mean, odds are, if I got the blind cave tetras, I'd really never um, get caught or get in trouble. I know some high profile name people, let's say, that live in Kentucky that have them. I know fish stores that sell them out open and nobody says anything. Um, are there any current cave fish in your local area? Like native wild cave fish or like in the hobby? Like I know of pet stores I can go to and I can buy blind cave tetras, even though they're legal here. Um, the blind cave mollies, to my knowledge, aren't in the hobby like that, um, and that's probably because when they get in captivity, they turn back into their regular color, their brown coloring, and their eyesight comes back. So you don't see the pinkish looking ones. Wild cave fish. There are wild cave fish in Kentucky in some different areas, and they are all highly protected. Um, they're threatened or whatever. Um, I don't know about in my specific like local area. I know we have a lot of caves. We have a lot of underground waterways. Um, the cave fish that I know for like specifically that are endangered and protected and stuff. Probably the reason that they've made the Mexican tetra illegal are all down in like the Mammoth Cave area, um, which is like the western, a couple hours away from me west. But they made a statewide ban on them. So I thought I could probably get them to get away with it, but I don't want to, as a public figure on YouTube and Facebook and stuff, trying to promote the hobby, and as someone in the leadership role of fish clubs and stuff, to knowingly do and promote illegal stuff within the hobby. I just think that would look bad on me, because if you do that, where do you draw the line? It's illegal to take your fish and drop them in the lake too. But if I cross the line and get the illegal species, I'm breaking the law. Why not just take the fish and dump them in the lake? So I want to try to be as we're upstanding. I want to do the right thing and promote doing the right thing with your fish and with your hobby. I've seen the solar arrays. The town that I used to live in, their electric company had a field full of solar panels behind them. They were getting minimal power from it, but it was a PR thing that they could say, we're generating 0.001% of the power. It probably cost them more to upkeep the panels and stuff than they actually saved from the small amount that they made. But I'm sure they got a grant for it or something. But I don't think that I've ever seen the wind turbines before in person. I may have when I went out to Oklahoma and Texas. I don't know if they got them out that way, but I wasn't. I had other people with me and probably music playing and joking and all that, not really paying attention to the surroundings as much. Speed limit on this little road 70. Okay. That sign said township. I wonder if there will actually be a town according to the map. No. There's a farm. And I've debated back and forth what to do in the fish room. I'm into a lot of the rare live bears. And I'm into some of the smaller cichlids, the Amatolonias, and the show dwellers, and that type of stuff. But I would also like to have fish that other people around me are interested in, that I can take to a swamp and then be popular and make $1 to pay for the fish bag that I put it in. And it doesn't seem like the two are going together as well. That the people that come to the swaps, at least the ones I've been going to, selling wise, that they're not looking for the rare stuff. They're looking for the pretty guppy and the beta and neon tetras and goldfish and stuff you'd find in a pet store. So maybe I need to, find a middle ground or take part of it and do what catches my interest, that I can work to help with educating and all that kind of stuff. And the other part, like guppies and the pretty fish. Have a good one, Jason. Try not to work too hard. Let's see. Hey, I'm in Indiana. I've got a little tub that's got a solar panel on it. It does nothing. I get no sun at my house barely. I mean, I think there's sun there, but it has to be at just the right angle at just the right time for that panel to kick on and start doing stuff. So I'm trying to run an electric line out there to put a post in the middle of the yard with outlets from ponds and stuff. Bought the conduit, dug the trench for the conduit, got the electric line, and was gonna put it all in this past weekend. Because right now, it's just gonna be an extension cord running out to the pond, and got it all laid out, and realized I should have measured before I bought the conduit. I'm about 5 feet short, so man, I got to get creative. I buy stuff without getting all the details and measuring. I bought conduit that was too large, so I had to get adapters because I didn't measure. And now I got conduit that's it was too large of diameter for the boxes. Now my conduit's not long enough to reach from where I put the post to the building that has electric. So I either need to move the post, I need to get different conduit, get a conduit extension, or get creative somehow. So are we talking Jordan, the country, or like a town, or Providence, or something of Jordan? I think desert's too good for solar. Okay, yeah. The country of Jordan. Yeah, I've been seeing some of your posts of Mark the World Traveler. It looks neat. Yeah, I wonder if like the wind turbines, if they're actually efficient enough that they earn their keep. I mean, I've heard of like some of the electric vehicles, the batteries they make for them, the amount of environmental impact they make creating the batteries isn't offset by the environmental impact savings or whatever from not burning gas in the life of that battery. And I'm sure that's not true with all the uh, electric vehicles, but I've seen that at least a couple. When you fly halfway around the world, you tend to pack as much into the trip as you can. Definitely. Definitely, definitely. tried to send me to Japan once. Well, they tried to send me multiple times, but all for the same thing. Um, and I don't have any desire to go to Japan. Nothing against Japan. It doesn't speak to me. I don't know why. I'm not fascinated by the culture and the food, and like everybody else is, I guess. It wasn't doing it for me. So I got out of that. Got it postponed a few times, and all this, and then got my position switched, so they quit asking. But it's like everybody at work thinks it's the coolest thing to get sent to Japan, and they were going to send me for a month. That's like that's not that's not one of my desires. I don't desire to go a lot of places that other people want to go. So everybody's like, I want to go visit New York City. Not me. I have zero interest in going to New York or New York City. The other parts of the state, sure, yeah, it's fine. But the city, I'm not. I'm not interested in it. I'm not interested in going to Japan. I don't know why. It wasn't my thing. I mean, it came close. I was almost on the plane. The day before I was supposed to get on the plane, they told me they needed to postpone it again. So I had to get the hotel and the plane canceled, or the plane ticket canceled and everything. I say I travel a lot, but I don't travel a lot. Not compared to like flying halfway around the world. I'll travel always on the go, but not going very far. I'll drive a day's drive away, and that'll be about it. Um, haven't been out of the country. I got a passport to go to Japan, so I still have a passport. But maybe one day I'll take a trip down to Mexico or something. I would say Canada, but Canada sounds cold. I don't like cold. Go down and see some of the jungles in Mexico or something. Could this be a town? Well. Well, there's a Taco Bell. I really don't want tacos as I'm driving. Maybe it's a good sign, though, that there will be other businesses around. All right, switching roads again. Yes. I'm sorry I'm not talking more. I feel like I'm letting you all down. I should have prepared a topic or something. I wasn't sure I was even going to be able to get the stream to work. I turned it on this morning to get it all ready, and the audio was just feeding back in a continuous loop back to itself. That's what I had to put the earbud in for. That fixed it. It can't hear itself now. Hours away. I guess I'm still in Indiana. So I guess this is the portion that are up this way that Brandon and Colmar were saying I'd be driving through his area. I didn't realize I went through Indiana. That's my plan, Jennifer. I'm going to try. I'm going to put forth a lot of effort to do videos and shorts and maybe a stream. I don't know. It didn't look like there was a lot of fish tuber people coming up here. I know of, I think 3 that said they were coming. A lot were going to Aquashella. So it'd be neat if there was a kind of like a communication between the Aquashella and the ALA convention people. Maybe like a joint stream or something. Going live from 2 different places. I don't know. But yeah, I want to try to be a better YouTuber while I'm here. All right, so it looks like I'm coming up on back on the interstate, coming up on exits with restaurants, civilizations, stuff like that. And it looks like Silver Creek Aquatics is going to go live in about half an hour. I've been on for almost 4 hours, so I think I'm going to. What do you mean the only food thing on that Starbucks? Starbucks isn't food. All right, so I'm going to get off here and try to find some lunch, something to eat, and I'll probably pop back up over on Silver Creek Street in about 35 minutes. I didn't say anybody was a bad YouTuber. I said I'm out there going to conventions and stuff and not making any videos and saying, I'm going as a YouTuber. Especially whenever there was Wendy's. When some of these conventions or whatever have specifically asked me to come as a YouTuber and paid my admission to get in, and then I don't do a good job at promoting their event through videos and stuff, and I feel bad about that. I try to do better and I'm going to improve. But yes, I'm going to stop rambling now and try to find some food. and maybe get a little gas and see you all over on Silver Creek's stream in a little bit. Thank you all for joining me and sitting for me rambling for 4 hours. I will see you later.